All right, welcome back to the channel. Today we got some Sean Strickland news, and I just watched his interview with Helen Yee, and with all due respect, whoever is editing Helen Yee's videos probably needs to do a little bit of more diligent job of it. That's the thing. I'm not like I swear on my videos and stuff, like it's all good, but let's just say a few things that got by that will not make Strickland look great, and not to say that Strickland really cares about his public image and all that, but it was funny because it's like he'll say a slur, it'll go through, and then like 5 seconds later he'll say the same slur and it'll be censored. And if you go through the video, I think I was looking through the comments, you'll know what I'm talking about. And that probably should have been censored as well. But besides the point, let's get into it. So she was asking, like, what's next for you, Strickland? And he was saying that apparently he was offered Caio Borralho. Mick Maynard brought it to his attention. But he said no because he knows Caio and he's friends with Caio. But then he says, oh yeah, man, now that Belal, he lost his belt, we both lost our belts, he can come up and fight me. Let's back up all that trash talk. But everyone and their dog knew Belal was talking out of his ass when he was saying that, oh yeah, when I beat Jack, I'm going to go maybe one more fight and I'm going to go up to middleweight. Bro, you're not a big welterweight. We all know you're not going to go to middleweight. Your power, you really don't have a lot of power in your punches. And especially if you go up to middleweight, he'd be so undersized. Like, and there's only so much muscle you can put on a body before it starts to be like one round of cardio. You know what I mean? So I think that was complete BS, as they say. But he said that Caio Borralho also kind of turned it down or whatever, but I'm just calling bullshit because Strickland says that they train together a lot, and I'm thinking to myself, it's like, wait a minute, isn't Caio Borralho a fighting nerd? I know Caio goes around and he goes to different gyms to get different looks and stuff, but I'm pretty sure he's a main training at the fighting nerds in Brazil. So I don't think it would have been that big of an issue. And it's not like, he said they're friends and like they talk in the gym and stuff all the time, but Strickland doesn't seem like the type to be like super close, like best friends. I don't know Strickland personally, but I think he can do the man dance and get paid and put it aside with them once they finish the fight. You know, like, what are you going to do? Just teep and jab him? You know, you're not going to alter his life. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is with Strickland turning it down, and if Caio turned it down as well, which if he did, I think that would be a really stupid idea, because let's look at the rankings here. So Chimaev and Dricus are fighting for the title, obviously. Number one, Nasruddin Imavov, he's weighing up as the backup, so he's not going to fight Borralho. Next, number two is Sean Strickland, which Caio Borralho, it makes sense because Caio's number 6. He just beat Jared Cannonier, so the only way to go up for him, Caio wanted Whitaker, but Whitaker's fighting Reinier de Ridder, so that's off the table. He also called for Adesanya, but Adesanya, I don't think he wants that. I think, if anything, Adesanya, he doesn't have a lot left. I think he kind of wants to get some get back here. If I remember correctly, especially on his David Goggins interview, he was saying that, like, I want Stricky. And it's like, all right. But Strickland said, because Helen Yee asked, like, hey, do you want Adesanya? What about that rematch? And he's like, man, I don't really want it, but I'll take it. And it's like, you know, if that happens, then Caio Borralho's fucked. Because literally he'd have no choice but to fight down. Because, yeah, like I said, they're all booked. So Caio is such an unfortunate position right now. I think he should really try and push Strickland to accept the fight. But then again, Adesanya will have no one to fight. So it's just a tough situation all around because I really like Caio. Caio's a really good fighter. I don't know if he's going to beat Chimaev or Dricus, but he's top of the line. I think he's definitely top 5 caliber, and he deserves a fight up there. But it's just, if both of them turn him down, he's just going to be out waiting and waiting and waiting. And by the time he returns, it's going to be damn near a year. So it's just ridiculous, man. And that's the thing. Obviously, Belal's not going to fight Strickland. He's just coming off a devastating loss in welterweight. Why would he move up? You know what I mean? So that's complete bullshit. So if Adesanya decides, because he was saying how like he inspired he was when he seen Volk got the belt back, so he's probably going to look to return end of summer, early fall, and he already said he wants Strickland. So literally, Caio Borralho has no options, no opportunities, and if Caio wants to fight, I guess right around his rankings, he can fight Roman Dolidze in the meantime, but. I mean, at this point, Caio's just going to have to accept anything that comes to him because, really, top 5 are completely booked, and he's between a rock and a hard place. It's really, really unfortunate because I think Caio said he was going to try to fight Anthony Hernandez, but they said they had something else in mind for him. So yeah, it's just real, real unfortunate. I think if Strickland fights Adesanya, I still think Adesanya will win. It's because that's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, he's washed, 3-fight losing streak, blah, blah, blah. I really think Adesanya had an off night against Strickland that fight. I truly, and I know it's like Strickland has better boxing, whatever, but I do not believe that Strickland's the better fighter. I think if they rematch Adesanya, I don't think Adesanya would get him out of there because Strickland's way too defensively responsible, but I think Adesanya gets it. And if I'm Adesanya, I would ask for a 3-rounder against Strickland because the last thing you want is to gas out because Adesanya is getting older. And the last thing you want is to be in there for another 5 rounds of Strickland where he just swarms you and just, you can't get going like the last fight they had. And it's just, it's real unfortunate. Real, real unfortunate. Because obviously Borralho's not going to rematch Cannonier. And I just hope whatever happens this upcoming pay-per-view for the middleweight strap, if we go off what the UFC patterns are, if you go in as backup, generally you're probably next in line for a title shot. I know Ian Gary was the exception, but Ian Gary kind of insisted. They didn't really ask Ian Gary to weigh in, I don't think. If they did, by all means, but I think it was more on his end. I think Nasruddin's probably next because you knock out Adesanya, you're getting a title shot. Whether people want to say what they want about Adesanya's recent performances, he's still a staple in that division. He's still, top 3 in that division. Well, top 4 now, but still. Yeah, I really feel bad for Caio Borralho. I think Caio, you get in there with the negotiations, you basically convince Strickland to accept that fight because if he doesn't, you're going to be out for so much more and your prime's wasting away. Let's see. How old is Caio Borralho? Because I don't think Caio Borralho is young. I think he has to be in his mid-30s for sure. Let's take a look here. Caio Borralho, 32. Yeah, he's not old. Like he's coming into his prime for sure. Especially like middleweight, you can get a little bit older than that. But no, especially like I said before, nothing worse than a fighter wasting their prime away. And yeah, if I'm Caio, literally just start kicking at the fucking UFC office doors. Try to get your opponent going. Force them to get Strickland because Strickland's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll fight Caio for the belt or if they throw a huge amount of money. Obviously, they're not going to throw a huge amount of money at Strickland to fight Caio Borralho. The only time they're going to throw a huge amount of money at Strickland is, if he's taking some short notice shit for the belt. A regular contender fight, not a chance, especially seeing how stingy they are when it comes to John Jones. I'm sure if they wanted to pay John Jones the money he wanted, he would have been fighting already. But, I guess it's all your perspective because John Jones even then he might duck, but I don't know. Yeah, I just really, really frustrating. There's a lot of fighters in the same position, like Aspinall is in the same position where it's just sitting on the bench, no fault of your own. But it's just real unfortunate. I hope the middleweight division gives someone to Caio Borralho because, I doubt it'll be Adesanya. I think it'll be Strickland, if anyone. But, I say Strickland should just take it because I know he wanted DeRitter, but, I mean, what's DeRitter? DeRitter's number 13, so that's not going to happen. Yeah, and not only that, I think they should get Strickland out of there. I don't think he has a fan favorite style, and I think his gimmick's kind of worn up as well. I think it's time to replace the old guard. not that Strickland's old, but he's had his chance. He had his belt. He lost it fair and square. And then he got beat again. So I think Strickland's time at the belt is over. I think, yeah, definitely. If I'm Strickland, save face, turn around, talk to the UFC, say, yeah, we'll do Caio Borralho. And I think you can easily put this on a pay-per-view for sure, if not a main event of a fight night. And I think Caio Borralho has the style to make this fight interesting. I know they train together, but Caio will know a lot of his weaknesses as well. So keep that in mind. And yeah, those are my thoughts. Like and subscribe, and see you guys on the next one.